welcome to everyone joining us for these introductory remarks to the final SOGICA conference. Warm welcome to all the participants, and you already know that this conference marks the near end of the SOGICA project. SOGICA stands for Sexual Orientation and Gender Identity Claims of Asylum, and it's a project that deals with the claims for international protection of people in Europe who present claims related to sexual orientation or gender identity. My name is Nuno Ferreira. I'm the principal investigator of this project, and I'm a professor of law at the University of Sussex. And we are very excited to start off this conference. It's been a very long process putting together all this program and working a lot in the backstage to make this work. And we're very excited about what we've managed to organize. So the program includes 3 keynote speakers, 22 panels, 2 workshops, 1 performance, more than 80 speakers, and more than 500 people registered, almost 600 this morning. People registered to listen and to take part in these discussions. So this promises to be a very exciting, productive, and inspirational 3 days. You are, of course, welcome to join as many or as few sessions as you want, as you can, depending on your own availability and interests. So as you know, the whole conference is going to take place on Zoom, and the keynote speaker sessions, as well as this introduction and the concluding comments on Thursday afternoon, will run on Zoom and will also be live streamed on Facebook. All other sessions will be run as webinars, and most keynote talks and sessions will also be recorded and made available through our website later on, so that you can revisit them whenever it's convenient for you. Now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the project. Most of you already know a little bit about it, but just in case, I'll tell you how this all started. So as I mentioned, this conference marks the near end of the SOGICA project. I think we've achieved a lot throughout the duration of this project. The seeds for this project were actually sown more than 10 years ago. This is how academic research sometimes takes place. It takes a long time to make it grow and develop into something like this. So I still a lecturer at the University of Manchester 10 years ago, and together with my colleague Ruth Caldeira, who currently works for Transparency International in Berlin, we started working on this project on sexual orientation and gender identity asylum claims. And after a couple of unsuccessful attempts in obtaining funding for the project, we decided to just set the project aside and let it rest for a while. Ruth, this colleague from Manchester, eventually left academia, and I also let the project rest. But this project always remained in my heart, and so while working at the University of Liverpool later on, I reworked the project and reapplied for funding a few years later, this time with the European Research Council. Now, the European Union, as we know, may have lots of scope for improvement, including in the field of migration and asylum, as we are aware of. But I think it needs to be acknowledged that the research funding programs of the European Union stand amongst the most advanced globally, and I consider myself immensely privileged for the SOGICA project having been funded by the European Research Council with a starting grant. And this European funding did allow us to do quite a few incredible things, I think, and I'll tell you a little bit about this. So the funding allowed us to start this 4-year journey, which explores the social and the legal experiences of people who claim international protection in Europe on grounds of sexual orientation and gender identity. And I'd like to share with you our project website, which most of you are familiar with, but it does encapsulate a lot of what we have done so far. So I'll share the website, my screen with you now, so that you can see some of the things that we've done. The website is in 3 languages, and I'll use the English version on this occasion. And so after we moved to the University of Sussex and was joined by three incredible colleagues that I would like to introduce now. And with these three colleagues, we've launched the project. So some of you already know the rest of the research team. We are accompanied here by Moira Dustin, who is the colleague responsible for the UK case study, and then Nina Held, the colleague responsible for the German case study, and Carmelo Danisi, the colleague responsible for the Italian case study. And some of you already met these colleagues throughout the fieldwork that we've carried out. I hope you don't mind, but I would also like to share with you how proud I am that the four of us managed to do quite a lot during these 4 years. One of our great prides is the database that we have in our website. And it's quite an important tool, which now has more than 1,000 items on everything related to SOGI asylum. From case law to policy papers, from academic literature to legislation. And so it's a very useful tool that we keep hearing from our participants and NGOs and stakeholders that it's extremely useful. So we're very happy that we've managed to put together this database for everyone's use. Then we also put together a useful links page where you can find a very long list of both public authorities and civil society's contacts at an international, European, and domestic level. We focus mostly on the UK, Germany, and Italy, but you also have a list of other links that cover basically all other countries, most other countries in the world where SOGI asylum issues are being dealt with. Throughout the life of the project, we also had the opportunity to present at a long list of events. We presented our provisional findings at more than 50 talks, and you can find details about those talks in our webpage as well. And if you go to our publications list, you can find that we've also published almost 50 pieces of work with our results and analysis, and have several articles and book chapters forthcoming over the next few months as well. Most of these publications are open access, so you can just follow the links on this website, or you can, if they're not open access, you can just get in touch with us and we'll be very happy to offer them to you. Now, our main publication is really the book that we've just recently finished and which will be published with Springer later this year. And in the book, we analyze and compare the SOGI asylum systems in the UK, Germany, and Italy. It will also be on an open access basis, and you can download it electronically eventually from the Springer's website. So we're very happy that we'll be able to make that book available electronically and on open access. And during the conclusions to this conference on Thursday afternoon, after our last keynote speaker, we will be launching more key publications of our project, in particular the project recommendations and the report of the online surveys that we've carried out. So please do come back on Thursday so that we can share with you the recommendations and the survey report. Now, before I wrap up my introduction, I'd like to thank a lot of people. As you can imagine, throughout the 4 years of a project like this, we've come into contact with a great number of people and many incredible people who have incredible experiences and have helped us a lot pursue this project. So none of these would have been possible without the fantastic support we received from all those people. You will be able to find all their names in the preface to our book when it comes out. And here I will at least refer briefly to them. So in our website, you can also find a list of people who have been very supportive of everything we've been producing over the last 4 years. In our Project Friends page, you can find a long list of NGOs and individuals and other organizations that have supported us throughout the project. Then you can also find towards the end of that page names of people who have both at University of Sussex and elsewhere who have supported us, carrying out placements with our project, for example, working with us as research assistants, and offering us support with various aspects from the logo design to translations and so on. And I would also like to make a special mention to our advisory board, of course, because our advisory board consists of a group of people who have been incredibly supportive of us throughout these 4 years. We've got Giorgio from Italy, Giorgio Dell'Amico, Prosi Kakuza from the UK, Vitit Muntarborn, based in Thailand, and Barry O'Leary, based in the UK, and Ambit Zaman, based in Germany. And these are our current advisory board. And you can see here also a picture from our advisory board yesterday, our final advisory board. Over the duration of the project, we've also had Ruth Caldeira and Maggie Merhebi as previous members of our advisory board. So a special thanks to our advisory board members for everything they've done for the success of this project. So I'll stop sharing the screen now. And I hope you can go back to our website, make very good use of it. We're very happy that the database especially has been so useful to so many people. So our deepest gratitude goes to all these people who made time to be, to all the people who have made time to be interviewed or take part in the focus groups during our fieldwork. Of course, our participants are the main actors in this project. You'll see through our publications that we put the voices of our participants at the center of our research. And when the book comes out, you'll see also that all the analysis that we've made in the book is led by what our participants have told us. So a huge thanks goes especially to our participants and everyone who made time to be interviewed and participate in our focus groups. And without them, this project wouldn't make any sense, and we'll be forever grateful to them. So I will return to the life of this project and what will happen after we officially finish when I present the concluding comments at the end of the third day on Thursday. And for now, I'd like to wish you many discussions that can stimulate and reinvigorate and inspire you. Please do share on your social media news and items about our conference, including our survey report and recommendations, which will launch on Thursday as well. And now I leave you with one of the 4 videos that we've produced throughout the life of our project. You can find all those 4 videos in our website as well. And there will be a panel on Thursday at 1 o'clock to discuss those videos with the director of the videos and participants in those videos. So now I'll show you one of those videos, the team video, so that you can hear a little bit more about the overall project and the research team. And after the video, we'll move on to the first keynote speaker, who we are very happy to host. So I'll share with you again my screen so that you can see the video we would like to show you. And afterwards, we'll move directly to the keynote speaker.
Since the beginning, the whole team was determined to make this be an academic project that also had an impact in the real world. Nina Held, who focuses on the German case study, is a sociologist. Moira Dustin, who focuses on the UK case study, is a political scientist. Carmelo Danisi, who focuses on the Italian case study, is an international lawyer. And I'm a lawyer. I coordinate the project and I focus on the European level policy. We all have connections with the NGO world. We had all been activists in different fields. So we're not only looking at the legal processes of claiming asylum, we're also looking at the social experiences of these claimants. When people arrive to Europe and lodge an asylum claim, they are just at the beginning of a very long process. They need to prove that they are really members of this sexual minority or this gender identity minority. They need to prove that they have been persecuted on that account. They need to prove that there's nowhere else in their countries of origin where they can relocate to. And all these things tend to be very difficult to prove.
LGBT asylum is a very difficult and complex area of asylum law. On the one hand, we've seen a change coming down from a European level, which quite rightly prevents decision makers from taking into account any kind of sexually explicit material or evidence. Equally, I've seen people presenting as material evidence pictures of themselves holding hands or with their partner, or on a pride march, or campaigning on LGBT rights, and the response that they've had has been, well, that's not proof of your sexual orientation or gender identity, which of course is true. But how are people meant to convince decision makers that they're fleeing homophobia or transphobia?
People can end up in very, very remote areas where there's hardly any public transport. One of my participants, they housed her in an army camp in the woods. I had to take several trains and buses to get there. And then I took this last bus, and it went up the hill into the mountains. Then there you actually have a very clear sign that says you're not allowed to go in because it's shooting territory. You know, they come to Germany, they're happy to finally kind of be free and live their sexuality. They don't have a chance if they're just in the woods.
It was surprising for me to discover that they never talk and never think about the future. One person told me, I feel like in a cage, because I don't know if in 2 days a new law comes up and I will be sent back to my country. Some people, they don't express the real reason for arriving in Italy because they were afraid at the very beginning of being themselves. They can experience the same fear they had in their country because they are forced to live with people of the same country, with the same cultural background. So the same people that persecute them.
Projects like SOGICA are absolutely vital. The more that we can get over some of the real challenges that LGBT asylum seekers face and tell those stories, then I hope that we'll be able to both affect a change in policy, but crucially also that change in the culture as well.
Protection is not a privilege. This is a right in international law, it's a right under European law, it's a right under domestic law across all European countries. So we are not talking about giving them a favor. We're not doing them a favor. Besides rights, I think we need to make sure that we include empathy and humanity in our policies and in our decision making and in our social practices. That's what's lacking, it's empathy.